Hello, my loop friends. Welcome to Live Loopers on the day where the Phoenix template is finally released to the world. I'm Alex, and for the last couple years, ever since Loopy Pro was released at the tail end of 2021, I have been on this journey to complete my looper of my dreams, and this Phoenix template is it. Today we will be spending the day. It won't really be a whole day because we'll be time-lapsing things and we'll just fly right through it. But I will be spending some considerable amount of time finishing up the tail end of the Phoenix template that I began a couple videos ago. There will be all kinds of cool ideas and things that I have learned from the last couple of years of compiling and collecting different Loopy Pro tips and ideas and everything. I'm going to throw them all in there, and we're going to learn a lot. Alright, here is where we left off, which is a page for orange. Orange is where I like to put all my percussion, and I made a video recently where I figured out which percussion package I was going to use, and it ended up being all three of my favorites, Beat Surfing 2 and the Loopy Pro audio unit, where I've tucked a bunch of drum samples and Koala sampler. So all three of those are going in, and I will make these 4 group buttons. I'm gonna save coding those till last, but I'll put them in here. I am going to also create more pages for all the other colors. So I'm going to create a Y page for yellow, a P page for purple, and a B page for blue. And I'm going to create another page which I'm just going to call EE for everything else. And I am going to make a little menu at the bottom because I love little menus at the bottom. I am going to look at the old modularity template and see the menu that is at the bottom of that, and I am going to bring over only the things that are essential. I'm going to leave some of the stuff behind because the old menu was a little too cluttered, and also this new setup, the way we're setting up the pages, we're not going to need all of it. So I am going to look into it and see which things we absolutely need. I definitely need notes. Session notes is just, I can't even imagine living without that. We are going to bring the EQ over because EQ is a good handy thing to have, and I like to have that access down here in the menu. We definitely need the clear screen button, so that will help us get rid of anything that is open, any AUs or any modules in our module area. And also we will need an E button to get over to the everything else screen. That will be the menu. This phase fix button I definitely need it, but I don't know where I'm going to put it just yet, so I am deleting it for a minute, and I'll put it back when I have some more room for it. Alright, now this is looking like we basically have a completed page. This is,
I think we can say we made some progress.
Kind of what I see the orange page looking like when we're all done. Close enough that I can copy the whole thing, just grab everything and bring it over to the Y page and paste it. So we'll have a similar thing going on for yellow. I'm going to use this recoloring tool to recolor the clips. For some reason the recoloring tool doesn't let me recolor the sliders and the buttons and all that stuff. I wish it did. That would be cool, but it doesn't matter because I gotta go in and rename all this stuff anyway, so I can just change the color while I'm renaming all the Y1s to the O1s to Y1s and the O3s to Y3s and so on. Another thing that is significant to the yellow page is I am not going to need 6 clips. I use yellow for recording my bass, and I never have a complicated bass line that is that complicated that it's going to need more than 4 parts. It's probably never even going to need 4 parts, but definitely doesn't need 6. So let me delete a couple of those and move some stuff to the center. This button right here is going to activate the playtime module, and I am seeing myself create like a different playtime module for each of the different color pages, and so the playtime module is what I use to input notes, and I can just have a yellow playtime module where all the notes are in the low octaves, all ready to go. For the public version of the Phoenix template, I am trying to use different AUV3s that people can access, same as I've done with previous templates. So we are going with our good old friend Overdrive Synth, which has some nice bassy sounds down there. And we will go with World Synth. Sometimes you need to look that up as World Piano in the App Store. It's called both some kind of weird way. And as of Loopy Pro 1.1, we have this new selector dial, which is so handy. It lets you select between your presets. So I'm going to attach that to the Overdrive Synth, and then we will be able to not only just have one voice coming out of the OD synth, but we can have multiple options, whichever one we're feeling. Okay, I'm going to save this, first of all, before I do anything, because saving often is a good idea. And then I'm going to go into the modularity template, because the modularity template had that last page where everything was set up so nicely in terms of my input effects and my output effects and my color controls. So I am just going to copy the whole thing. Let's grab all of it, bring it over to our everything else page of the Phoenix template. So nice to already have a lot of work already done. This is an important piece of strategy. I am going to take this bottom menu, and I am going to make the bottom menu key off of the buttons that are on the orange page. On the yellow page, the menu will just call over to the same buttons on the orange page, and on the purple page, those menu buttons will call the button on the orange page. That way, whenever I need to change something, I can just go to the orange page and change the menu button there. I wish there was a way to make duplicate buttons so that you could just, like it could just be an actual copy of a button on the other page, so that all the changes would just automatically permeate throughout all your different pages. But that is not a thing yet. But anyway, this way I find makes it a lot simpler for me. Just have the orange page be the real buttons, the real menu buttons, and the other pages you just sort of have to code it to do the exact same thing. So if you have like a press action, then you need to make the yellow corresponding button call the press action on the orange page, and if you have a swipe up action, then you need to make the yellow and the purple and the blue all do a swipe up action calling the orange page. Now we can copy this yellow page, because it's looking good, and bring it over to the purple page and start recoloring all this purple stuff to yellow and renaming all these Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4 to P1, P2, P3, P4. Just look around and see everything that needs renaming and rename it. Everything that needs recoloring and recolor it. Choose some AV3s that are going to go for the purple page. I am going to select a Numa player, because love the Numa player. That's a awesome free synth that has like 4 simultaneous layers that you can mix and match and make all kinds of cool sounds with. So for pads, which is the purple, we are going to use that. And I love it that Loopy Pro includes different presets, so I have selected some different presets, and those travel right along inside the Phoenix template. So if you get these same AUV3s, you will have these access to these same preset options. Now I'm going to copy the bottom of the purple page and copy that over to the blue page, and I'm going to copy the top of the orange page and copy that over to the blue page. The only reason why I'm doing it that way is because for the blue page where I make my melody lines and leads and all that stuff, I definitely do sometimes use up to 6 clips, so we are back to wanting 6 clips instead of 4. Rename everything now and recolor everything now, and it won't be orange and purple, it'll turn blue. Here's a cool notable thing about these menu buttons. The way that I am making them is so that I have this little off button that I've created, and whenever you switch pages it tags the off button, so it turns off automatically any AUV3s that are on for that page, which is cool because it takes away a thing, makes it so that you don't have to think about it. You switch pages, it turns all those voices off automatically, but you might not always want that to happen. You might want to leave the page and leave those on, so I am making a swipe right action for all of these buttons down here. So if you swipe right on the O button to switch to the O page to get to orange, it will not tap that off button. It will just go to the orange page and do nothing else. But if you just press the O button, the orange button, it will switch to the orange page and do all of the automation that it thinks that I want to do when I am leaving the page, just automatically turning things off and resetting things, and that's very cool to me. I'm going to do a little bit of MIDI programming so that when I press these O, Y, P, B buttons on the menu, they will also send out a MIDI program change code, and then I will have the audio unit, the playtime where I input all my notes, listening, so that when I change the page, not only will it change which page I'm on, but it will also change the playtime module that is associated with it. So I switch to the blue page, and it switches to the blue playtime module, and I switch to the yellow page, and it switches to the yellow playtime module. And if I, again, don't want that to happen, I can just swipe right on the yellow button, and then it would just switch to the yellow button and leave whatever playtime module was there before. So you have the option of changing everything, or just peeking, like you can just take a peek over to the other page and, like, you know, go see what's going on over there, and if you need to do something over there right quick, and then you can just jump back and not have upset and disturbed everything. Last thing I need to do is make it so that these group buttons work, because that's going to be really a fun function to have access to. You're going to be able to just press the group 1 button, and it will toggle on and off everything that is along the top row. So all the Y1, O1, P1, B1, you press group 1 and it toggles it on and off that whole row. And the same thing for group 2, group 3, group 4. But then the beauty of it all is we're going to have a swipe right action, which when you swipe right, it will just solo that whole line. So you can, like, solo group 1 or group 2 or group 3 or group 4, and then when you swipe left, it will unsolo. It will, like, bring everything back. So I am going to have a ton of fun playing with that. That's also how the modularity template works, and it's all kinds of it's a feeling of power. It's like, ooh, I can just turn on and off, like, I can have different layers. So you have all kinds of controls by color, where you can just, like, you can take all the percussion on and off, but you also have all these controls by layer, and you can just build different parts to your song. Like, you can have an A part and a B part and a C part, and, you know, or, I mean, you can have up to 4 parts. You could have, like, a pre-chorus part, whatever you need for your song. It's your song. One last thing that I am seeing that the Phoenix template does not have, that I will miss if I don't figure out a way to get it in here, so I'm putting it in here, is some retrospective looping. I used to have that green loop that you could just go back and would be always listening for what you're playing. And if you play some kind of solo-y thing and you're like, oh, I want that in my looping, but I wasn't pressing record, retrospective looping is good for that. And so I am going to make a little tiny green clip right here, and I am going to make a little green button on each page that can activate it. That little green button is just like a selector. It just the actual clip is going to live here on the orange page, and then that button is going to be able to select it. So if you want to retrospectively record something, it'll be a two-step process. It's like you press the R button, that selects that clip, and then you press the record button, and then it will fill that clip with whatever, 8 bars of whatever recently just happened. And I'm going to use beat surfing here for a second to test it out and make sure that retrospective looping button actually works. And then I think I will be done. We will be done with this Phoenix template, and you can go to liveloopers.com under the goodies tab, and you can just pick yourself up a copy, bring it, download it down to your iPad, and you can use all of it. Or you can just go in and study it and take out the parts that you like, bring them over to what you're doing or whatever. It's yours.
You can do what you want up at the cold camp.
Do what you want. Shoom! Now do what you want. That is the Phoenix template. It's a great template. It is the thing that I have been dreaming for like 10 years or something like that. And now it is a real thing out here in the real world. You can use it. I can use it. I make great music with it. I love it. And you should probably just click the like button just for that if you haven't already. And if you like talking about all kinds of looping things, you can subscribe. And if you want to come chat, you can join our Discord and chat and talk all kinds of looping stuff. And yeah, wow, it's out there. The Phoenix template. We can all use it now. All right, loop on, my loop friends, loop on.